Good morning guys, hope you are all doing well. Anvay here, welcome to my video. Today I have arrived at this beautiful and serene location which you are seeing behind me to film the all new Vitara Brezza. The car was initially launched in 2016 and now after 4 years it has received some slight tweaks to its design and the new 1.5 litre petrol engine. So how does the car look? How are the comfort levels? How is it like to drive? What's the pricing and maintenance cost? We will be answering all of these questions in today's video. So first, let's do a walk around of the car, see what's underneath the chassis, and then go for a thorough drive. At the end, let's talk about the pricing and the maintenance cost. So without further ado, let's take a look at the new Brezza. Before we proceed, I am extremely thankful to Ace Kudle Car for allowing me to drive their Brezza and convey you guys my opinion about it. The dealership has been operational for a decade now and have 2 branches across town. If you wish to bring a brand new Maruti Suzuki home, do give them a call on the numbers mentioned in the description box below. So starting from the front, you are greeted with this dual projector headlights with the LED DRL and indicator mounted in a single unit. Connecting those headlights is this gigantic chrome grille with the hexagonal troughs in it. Below that chrome grille is the air dam split into 2 sections thanks to this silver brushed crash guard. And next to the air dam are the LED fog lights with black accents around it. You also get some black cladding at the bottom of the rear bumper as well. So from the front, the car looks bold and aggressive. The black cladding treatment continues to the side as you can observe it from the bottom of these swage lines and going over these wheel arches. Contrasting black treatment is given around the door frames and the roof either comes in black or orange color if you choose to opt for the dual tone color variant. As you have observed, the indicators are mounted on this electrically folding and adjustable mirrors. The car gets 2 lines, one which starts from the headlight and goes towards the rear door, and following that is another line from the bottom that starts from the rear door and connects towards the tail lights. Lastly, talking about the tires, well, you get the diamond cut alloy wheels encircling the 250/60 16-inch tires. Since we are at the side, the car is just short of 4 meters in total length with a wheelbase of 2.5 meters. And in terms of height, the car is 1.7 meters in height with a ground clearance of 20 centimeters. Coming to the rear again, you are greeted with the LED tail lights with the chrome accents encompassing the number plate. Above the number plate, you get the reverse parking camera which is available only for the top variant. On the rear bumper, you get the parking sensors with light deflectors mounted on each sides. And again, you get some black cladding on the diffuser as well. Since we are at the back, now let's just open up the boot. The boot space which you get in the new Brezza is a decent 328 liters. If you feel that the boot space is not sufficient enough to hold your luggage and if you have less passengers, you can obviously fold these rear seats and achieve even more boot space for transporting a lot of luggage. So overall, with these new design tweaks, I have to say the new generation Brezza certainly looks a lot stylish and aggressive from all the angles. And I personally love this design compared to the previous generations. Kindly note that the car being driven has been fitted with accessories, namely some decals with chrome and silver brushed accents from the outside and leather seat covers on the inside. The stock car gets fabric upholstery seats with black claddings at the bottom from the outside. So now, as I have reached back to the front, let's pop up the engine bay. The new Maruti Brezza is powered with a 1.5 litre K-series inline 4-cylinder engine that makes 105 horsepower at 6000 rpm and 138 Newton meters of torque at 4400 rpm. This power is transmitted to the front wheels via a 5-speed manual gearbox or a 4-speed torque converter automatic. You can observe that the engine is transversely mounted on the front axle. Hence, this drivetrain layout is called as front engine front wheel drive. So, I have answered the question of how the car looks from the outside. How are the comfort levels? For that, let's take a seat inside. On the inside, the car gets complete black treatment on the dashboard and the fabric upholstery on the seats. Contrasting brushed silver accents are provided on the doors and between the cooling box and the glove box. There are gloss black accents around the infotainment system and the AC vents, while chrome accents are provided on the bottom of the steering wheel and abreast the infotainment and cruise control functions, and around the engine start-stop button. The steering wheel is also adjustable in terms of rake.
Now I have seated myself at the front, and I have to say the front seats are really comfortable. For my height of 5 feet 8 inches, the headroom is really nice, and so is the thigh support. The visibility in the car is also quite good, and the shoulder support also which I get from these seats is really nice. Along with that shoulder support, my spine is also in a straight position, so comfort on long journeys shouldn't be a problem.
Taking an up-close look, the functions for the cruise control, infotainment system and calling are mounted on the steering wheel. Behind the steering wheel are the controls for the headlights, indicators and wipers. In front of them is the instrument cluster that has analog dials with multi-information display in the center. Towards the right, you get the engine start-stop button with the headlight leveler and mirror adjustment controls below that. On the doors are the controls for windows and door lock-unlock. Below them are the bottle holders which hold up to 1 liter of bottle with door pockets. Next to that are the speakers which are present on every door along with 2 tweeters on the top variant. In the center is the 7-inch touch infotainment system with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and below that are the controls for the air conditioning. Between the gear lever and those controls is some storage space, above which are the USB and auxiliary slots with 12-volt charging point. Behind the gear lever are the cup holders with the sliding armrest that has some storage space. At most left, we get the normal glove box with the cooling glove box above it on the dashboard. Lastly, in terms of safety, there are 2 airbags. One is mounted on the steering wheel and another on the dashboard. Here's the list of features which are exclusive only for the ZXi Plus variant.
Now having a seat in the rear, I have to say the comfort levels are slightly better compared to the front seats. These seats are positioned slightly higher than the front seats, hence you feel like you are sitting in a theater. For my height, I have more than sufficient amount of legroom and headroom. So overall, the comfort levels in the car, both on the front and the rear seats, are really nice. So how's the car in terms of driving? For that, let's have a seat in the front and take the car out for a thorough drive. So after driving for quite a while, I can say getting used to the car takes really short amount of time. The 2 contributing factors to that are the driver seat height adjustment function, and number 2 is the bonnet visibility. With these 2 features, you get used to the car in really short amount of time, making this car quite easy to drive. Speaking about the new 1.5 liter engine, well, since Maruti has phased out the diesel engines from their product portfolio, all that is left are the petrol engines and the CNG variants. And being a naturally aspirated engine, the throttle response which you get from this engine below 2000 RPM is really nice. Between 2 to 3000 RPM, the power delivery gets linear, and after 3000 RPM, the engine again comes into life. The performance of 105 horsepower which you get from this engine is certainly satisfactory when you are driving in city or on highways. Now this engine, although being a 1.5 liter engine, manages to give you the fuel efficiency of 18.7 kilometers per liter for an automatic variant, and for the manual gearbox it gives you about 17 kilometers per liter. These numbers for this engine are truly impressive. Now you might wonder, how does a 1.5 liter engine give you these efficiency numbers? Well, special credit goes to Maruti for saving weight, as the new Brezza weighs about 1.2 tons. Due to the weight savings, not only the car gives us good efficiency numbers, but also increases the power to weight ratio. Now let's see how the engine responds. Let me put my foot down. Wow! The engine red lines up to almost 6000 RPM. Wow, wow, wow. And really, when the engine comes close to that red line, it really gets vocal and you feel like you are driving a sports car. Now, as I mentioned, the new Brezza weighs about 1.2 tons. Hence, to achieve that stopping power, the combination of the disc and the drum brakes work very much nicely. With that combination, you also get the anti-lock braking system with the electronic brake distribution as standard for all the variants. Now let's talk about the transmission. The 4-speed automatic gearbox is a torque converter gearbox. Being a 4-speed automatic, what actually happens is that the gear ratios are slightly longer. Hence, the acceleration which you get from the Brezza is not exactly up to the mark as you would get in the 5-speed manual. However, the gearbox upshifts and downshifts really smoothly and hence saves your effort of using both of your legs while driving, and you tend to enjoy the driving experience. Speaking about the mild hybrid system which you get for the automatic variants, well, there are two components involved in it. Number one is the lithium-ion battery pack which is placed at the center of the chassis, and number two is the motor generator unit. Elaborating that, the motor generator unit acts as a motor, especially when you are accelerating, to give you that additional boost which is required, and it acts as a generator when you apply the brakes or when you are decelerating. And this smart hybrid system does certainly tend to make the engine slightly peppy and you feel that acceleration when you put your foot down. Now talking about the steering, the car gets an electric assist rack and pinion power steering, and I have to say the steering is certainly smooth and amplifies your driving pleasure as the effort required to maneuver the car all while turning the car is really less. Taking a U-turn on a broad lanes is very much easy, but a 3-point turn may be necessary in a very narrow lanes according to the situation. Now talking about the suspensions, in the front you get the McPherson strut suspension with coil spring, while on the rear you get the torsion beam axle suspension. The suspensions handle the bumps and undulations really nicely, as Maruti has found a perfect balance between the softness and stiffness of this suspension system. Not only are these suspensions soft and stiff, but they also are durable. Hence, when you are driving the car through the potholes, the suspensions won't thud the belly and the ground clearance gets that credit for it. As I've mentioned previously, the ground clearance of 20 centimeters and these durable suspensions, which are soft and stiff, can handle the infamous Indian roads without any hesitation. So, the favorite thing which I like about this Brezza are the suspension systems, and Maruti certainly deserves a pat on its back. Now having a seat at the back, I can say the comfort levels compared to the front seats is really nice. Although the suspension setup for the rear wheels is different, still they manage to provide you some great levels of comfort. And like the front suspensions, the balance between the softness and the stiffness is managed quite perfectly. And once you go through the bumps and the potholes, they absorb those undulations really nicely. However, you might feel some slight body roll as you are going over those potholes, but that body roll lies within limits. So overall, I have to say the comfort levels are really great. Now, let's pull over and discuss the pricing and the maintenance cost. After finishing my drive, there are 3 things that impressed me the most with the new Vitara Brezza. Number 1 is the comfort, as the comfort on both the front seats and the rear seats is really great. Number 2 are the suspensions, as they have achieved the perfect balance between the softness and stiffness and can certainly handle the infamous Indian roads due to their durability. And number 3 is the efficiency. For a 1.5 liter petrol engine, the efficiency number of 18.7 kilometers per liter for an automatic is truly impressive. Speaking about the price, the car starts at 7.34 lakhs ex-showroom and goes all the way up to 11.15 lakhs. Considering what the car offers in terms of features, it certainly feels value for money. Talking about the maintenance cost, well, the car needs to be serviced once every year or after 10,000 kilometers. And without any parts to be replaced, the costing is expected to be around 7 to 8,000 rupees. That's it for the Brezza then, guys. If you have enjoyed this video, kindly hit that like and subscribe button for more content, as like and subscription equals motivation for me to bring more content for you guys. And I will catch up with you guys again in the next video with a new car. Bis dann, auf Wiedersehen.